Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. Welcome back to the We Talk Football podcast. Now, second day in a row with the wrap up. If you haven't seen in the title and in the thumbnail, we are talking Liverpool and a season that isn't actually finished yet. But we have the pleasure of being joined by Harriet Prior of the Anfield Wrap. How you doing, Harriet?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Good to be here. Good to talk about Liverpool at the moment, isn't it? So, yeah, never a dull moment.
Exactly. I mean, you guys must be on cloud nine at the moment. I mean, there isn't really anything too negative that you can say about Liverpool. But what are your thoughts on your season so far?
Yeah, Sunday was really gutting, and I don't think anyone's going to try and cover that up or lie about it. The highs and lows while we were literally sitting in the ground, we're experiencing it all, and the Wolves fans celebrating every time City scored did not help the situation at all. But look, I think, to be honest, we're just really proud of them for taking it to the final day, because you think back to earlier in the season where we were 14 points behind and we thought the title had gone at Christmas, really, and into that January period especially. So the fact we managed to pull it around, it's definitely heartbreaking and gutting that it was 1 point in it yet again. But we saw what happened last time and that propelled us on, and we have Madrid to look forward to. And it's a similar situation this time. So FA Cup, League Cup in the bag, Champions League this weekend. There's not much to complain about, is there?
Like we talked to, and I think this is the thing that underpins Liverpool's season, is the belief that the fans have got. We talked to Josh Sexton, who you work with at the Anfield Wrap, and he was on just after the League Cup final, and you were still quite a way off in the league, but he was fully confident that you were going to close that gap on City and make it a title challenge, which you did. You could count yourself maybe a little bit unlucky in the final day. Obviously, City, well-deserved champions. Gundogan turned up. Pep Guardiola's substitutes worked, but Liverpool pushed City all the way, and can count yourself unlucky that yet again you've achieved over 90 points in the season but haven't been able to walk away with the title. But like Jamie touched on at the beginning of the video, you've got so much to play for. In terms of your season as a whole, as a Liverpool fan, what's been your highlight of the season?
Oh, it's really difficult because there's been some really good moments, and you have to think about the Old Trafford win, the 5-0. That was incredible. That night out in the city we had back here was amazing. But for me, on a personal level, I'm probably going to go with. To be fair, I've got two. Am I allowed two? Is that all right?
So you're allowed as many as you want.
Going to Benfica and going to Lisbon away was the first away I've done post-COVID, and being able to be in that away end and back at a European away especially was a really special moment for me personally. So getting through that, getting through to the semi-finals, and then obviously now the final this weekend was just personally such an incredible moment. And then the FA Cup final, I mean, I think it's a funny one because for the last sort of few years under Jurgen Klopp, it's not been one that we've been involved in past the fifth round, and no one goes into the season thinking we'll get any further than that in the FA Cup. And then to beat Man City in the semi-finals, the atmosphere that day was unreal, and to go on to the final and win it. Sorry, Kweko, I know you are a Chelsea fan, so this is like double heartbreak for you right now, but that day was unreal, and it propelled us on, I think, to want to finish the season on a really strong point, because I think if we'd have not won the FA Cup, things would have started to unravel a bit maybe, and doubt would have got in the heads, especially before a big month and a big final.
Do you think, like, with the FA Cup win and with the League Cup win, you've managed to kind of push on in those competitions because you've got a deeper squad, a better squad? We saw the addition of Luis Diaz in January, one of the signs of the season, even though he'd only played half the season. Do you reckon your ability to kind of compete on all fronts has stemmed from the fact that you've got, and Jurgen Klopp has got a stronger squad at his disposal this season?
It's definitely been that. People have said in past seasons that Klopp hasn't taken it seriously, and I don't think that's been the case. I just don't think he's been able to, whereas now, especially this season, it feels like the culmination of a few really, really good years in the transfer market, and getting in players who maybe aren't always starting but are going to be there and about when we need them. Players like Minamino, we know that he's come in and done a really good job, and then also the youth talent that we've had coming through, and in those cup games it's been that balance of experience and those core of those really experienced players, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and he is an experienced player at only 23, but experience of winning trophies, and then the squad players as well. So it's definitely felt like a good balance this year. And then, like you mentioned, Diaz coming in, I genuinely think everything we win we can attribute in part to him coming in, because he's changed everything. He's given us that another option off the bench, another starting option. He's pushed Mane and Salah to new levels, I think, and he's just been a game changer for us. So yeah, that squad depth that this season has all come together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, as a neutral in this, of course, I mean, Klopp for me is by far the manager of the season, just from the fact that they were so close to the precipice of doing the quadruple. And I know you still have that game to play on the weekend, but you go back to the start of the season, you look at the questions around Liverpool, and it was like, can they go again? Mane and Salah, are they starting to go out? Will they fall off a cliff also almost?
Yeah.
And you look at the players that he's brought into the squad, bringing in Diogo Jota, that's hit the ground running. Luis Diaz looks like a star born and ready to almost take over the mantle of Salah. I know no Liverpool fan wants that, but the ability to completely rejuvenate this squad and also have them competing on multiple fronts, for me, it must be an incredible moment to be a Liverpool fan. And I just want to say my most favourite moment of the year, and that goal that Salah scored against City I think it was in October, the 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
that for me is one of the greatest goals I've ever seen, let alone this season. So to score it in a game.
Yeah. It was funny that because I was in Anfield, I was reflecting on that last week. Everyone looked around, like it was almost like the celebration paused because everyone looked around in the ground and was like, did you just see that? Did we just all see what just happened? It was an unreal goal. You're right to point that out. It was incredible, wasn't it? Most
definitely. In a game full of so much jeopardy as well, it's even at that point, I know Liverpool didn't start as well, and at Christmas, you were behind, but in a game where it's by far the two greatest teams in world football, really, with a game with the lights are on it, questions get asked of Mo Salah all the time. So to pull that out of the bag and do that there and then, a goal of such quality, it's just testament to Liverpool as a team and just to Mo Salah as a player.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Obviously, Mo Salah's had an unbelievable season. Maybe the first half of the season was a lot better than the second half of the season, but he still scored some important goals in the second half and contributed in other ways that doesn't reflect on maybe the goal sheet or the assist tally. And he's a lot of people's picks for player of the season. From a personal point of view, obviously somebody who's watched every single Liverpool game this season, who would your player of the season be?
Oh, it's an interesting one with Salah because, like you mentioned, the first half of the season for him was hitting heights that we know he can reach. And since AFCON, if we're being honest, hasn't quite been the same player in terms of the figures that he's posting in front of goal, but he's still been so influential in other ways. But for me, Mane's got to be the player of the season. I think he's reached new heights this year that we didn't even know he was capable of, because we all know what an incredible player Mane is. We all know that. We all have seen that in years now. But for him to come in and really lead that front line, whoever he's playing alongside, he just absolutely is the star man for me. And I've absolutely loved watching him sort of flourish and really just enjoy it all, because he's a person you can really tell when he's enjoying his football, and you can tell that Sadio Mane wants to be in and around everything at the moment. He wants to be in with the goals. He wants to win all the trophies, and he's been the star figure for me. And I think Carragher said the same actually last week, that Mane was his player of the season. So you can never discount Salah, but it's not right to overlook Mane either.
What I'd like to ask then is, we alluded to it earlier, we have the big game coming up on the weekend. If it's 0-0 at 90 minutes, Mo Salah pops up with a winning goal, does that opinion change?
I'm never going to complain if Mo Salah is given player of the season, because I personally think he is the best player in the world, and I am biased. I know that, but I don't think there's many better than him. I'm only going based off the last couple of months and how much Mane has really been there to drag us through and to keep us in the talk for all of it, alongside Diaz as well, I might add, but you can't give him player of the season when he's only in a half a year. But if Salah scores the winning Champions League goal, give him everything. I mean, he can have my house, he can have what he wants at this point.
Well, obviously we alluded to it there. Obviously, huge game for Liverpool this weekend. Real Madrid have very much been the comeback kings in Europe this year. They've taken a lot of big scalps. How are you feeling ahead of the game?
I'm nervous. I'm really, really, really nervous. Like you just mentioned there, we all sat down and watched the game between Real Madrid and Man City and actually expected City to just cruise through it. No one was even really putting Real Madrid in the conversation that much before the game. Everyone was like, Man City, Liverpool, that'll be the final. And then watching that game and seeing how much Real Madrid can hurt a team within 5 minutes is a scary prospect. And we know they've got such talented players. And even if they're old in terms of football, they're still managed to absolutely pull it out of the bag when you need to, and they're European royalty. So nerve-wracking, be a big battle, a big fight, but I think the Liverpool players will be more than up for it, and especially losing the league in the way they did at the weekend, they'll be even more up for it. So nervous, excited, think that if all the players are at the top of their game, we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, you should be favourites for that game. The way you've played this season, despite the fact you've maybe looked a little bit leggy in the last few games. I feel like Liverpool, if they're firing on all cylinders, they should have enough. One man that would be crucial to your hopes in that game is Thiago. He's one of my, as a fan of football, one of my favourite players to watch. We know how good he is. We saw the assist on the weekend. We saw the last time that he played in the Champions League final. In my opinion, he was the best player on the pitch for Bayern Munich against PSG. There's doubts about his fitness, although some papers are reporting that he is gonna win that race to be fit for the final. How important is Thiago to your chances in the Champions League final against Real Madrid?
He's key. He really is. There's no denying that he's a key player. We've seen how he can control midfields, and that's the key thing, that whoever is put around him relies on Thiago to provide that attacking option. He's a constant threat. His vision, some of the passes he makes and executes are just out of this world. But not only that, he does the defensive work as well. And you have to work so hard when you're playing in Liverpool's midfield and the style of football we play. And he presses so high as well. If we're without him at the weekend, it would be a huge, huge blow. But like you said, it does seem to be bruising. He does seem to be winning that race. And if he can be in contention alongside, hopefully Fabinho will be back as well, and Henderson, I don't think our midfield gets much better than that. So yeah, definitely a key figure if we are to go and win it.
I mean, whatever happens as a neutral, it's going to be an incredible game. To be completely honest with you, I wanted Liverpool to do the quadruple as a neutral fan. So I do think that you have enough. I do think that you have enough to, finally put Real Madrid to bed, so to speak. But you mentioned a number of players in your team there. I want to give you an opportunity now. Forget transfers, forget finances. I want to give you an opportunity to potentially either weaken or strengthen your team, depending on how you see it. Now, we mentioned Mane being the player of the season. Would you trade Mane for Jude Bellingham at this point in time?
Oh, no. I wouldn't. I'm not going to. I know it is hypothetical, and I know we're talking about things that could or couldn't happen. I thought we were going to sign Bellingham this summer. I was convinced of it until Haaland went to Man City, because I just don't think they're going to give up their two sort of up and coming players. Bellingham is a young, exciting talent, and we want young, exciting talents at Liverpool. I cannot deny that. But I think Mane has got at least 2 seasons left at his peak. And I'm not giving away a player who is so settled and so integral to part of the Liverpool setup, so that we can benefit off a young and up and coming player who I still think we might be able to get in a few seasons' time when Mane isn't there. So that's diplomatic of me, wasn't it? I'm getting everything I want, but I'm
just pushing it further down the line. I like how steadfast you are with it, and obviously you picked Mane as a player of the season. I'll be a little bit cheeky here. What about if it's Mo Salah for Jude Bellingham? Would you do that?
No, I don't think I would. I honestly don't think I would. Although, you know what, the only thing that makes me think about this is the fact we have got Klopp for a few more years now, and we want to be planning for the future. We're trying to future-proof now, aren't we, for a world without Jurgen Klopp, whenever that might be. And we're trying to think of players who will still be around when he has to inevitably move on or retire from football. And Bellingham would be one of those who you could really shape a team around, looking to the future. So it's a hard one, isn't it? But I think when you feel such affinity and love for the players that are already in your team, it's hard to say you'd swap any of them out.
Most definitely. I mean, how can you swap any of these Liverpool players when they're, performing at such unparalleled heights at the moment? But anyway, Harriet, hate to wrap it because it's been an incredible, it's been incredible to have you on. But in the meantime, where can everyone find you on social media platforms? Good
question. What is my Twitter handle? I think I am just Harriet E. Prior. I am. Harriet E. Prior, and I'm the same on Instagram actually as well. So follow me there, but also follow the Anfield Wrap if you're interested in anything Liverpool-wise, because they're much more active than I am. Well, of course, I'll put all the links to your relevant social media platforms in the bio, of course. But Kwaku, where can they find us?
So you can find us on Spotify, just type in We Talk Football Podcast. We're on YouTube, again, type in We Talk Football Podcast. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We're on Instagram, We Talk Football Podcast, Twitter at WTF Podcast 90. We'll be back with more videos like this very, very soon. Cheers, guys. Catch you next time.